It's meat, meat, and some more meat. This is the Fogo de Chao experience. Fogo de Chao is Brazil's most successful and recognized chain of churrascaria steakhouses. They are known for their signature dining experience, whereby expert Southern Gaucho chefs prepare the restaurant's select cuts of meat to perfection and offer it through continuous tableside service. Churrasca? Gaucho? Not sure what these mean? Let's take a look to get a better idea of the unique Fogo de Chao experience.
We are an authentic Southern Brazilian churrascaria.
Everything is fresh.
The variety is what we strive for here.
It's just a fun experience the whole time.
Dining out is not just coming in and eating, but it's the whole experience. The salad bar is wonderful. It's a mixture of salads and fresh vegetables for the choice of the guest to create their own salad.
Once you are ready for the meats, you have a card on the table, you flip the card on the green side, and the chefs start to serve you right away.
The difference is the chefs.
Our gauchos are Southern Brazilian chefs. They've been trained to cook, to prepare, and to serve the meats.
It's fresh meat, rock salt, open flame cooking. We conserve the original flavor of the meat. We have 15 different varieties. You can select and have a little bit of everything.
The Fogo experience is the brainchild of two brothers, Yair and Ari Kozer, who after years of being assistant churrasqueros, opened their own Southern-style Brazilian steakhouse in Porto Alegre in 1979. The venture proved so successful that by 1987, Fogo expanded with 2 more locations in Sao Paulo. In 1997, the chain decided to export their concept to the North American market, and where better to start than in southern Dallas, Texas. Today, Fogo can be found in 7 locations throughout Brazil, and another 20 locations throughout the United States, with 2 more set to open in the fall of 2013. Fogo de Chao has done an excellent job at differentiating itself by creating strong, favorable, and unique associations for its customers. There are 2 core values that consumers associate with Fogo de Chao: authentic Brazilian food and a high-quality experience. The Kozer brothers grew up in Rio Grande do Sul in southern Brazil, where they were immersed in centuries-old gaucho culture and learned about churrasco-style barbecue. When they opened Fogo de Chao, the brothers combined their experience working at various churrascos in Sao Paulo and Rio with their rich history from the South to create the ultimate authentic gaucho-style experience. However, what really brings Fogo de Chao above all its competitors is the educational experience customers acquire at the restaurant. Pictured here is a pamphlet that explains the various cuts of meat offered. Each cut has a corresponding number, so when the gauchos serve the meat, customers know exactly what number they are eating. This way, customers can learn about the authentic Brazilian cuts. Furthermore, the gauchos teach customers about the rich history of churrasco and traditional Brazilian cooking. While Fogo de Chao would be nowhere without its Brazilian roots, the amazing customer experience at Fogo is what makes it a truly fine dining restaurant. From the moment you enter Fogo de Chao, you're treated like royalty. Chairs are untucked, side dishes are replenished without asking, and of course, the meat is served in its unique and exciting way. The highly trained gauchos are able to answer any question pertaining to the meat and are very accessible to customers. Finally, the food itself is of the highest quality. Zagat has named Fogo one of America's top restaurants, and after asking any Brazilian where to get the best churrasca, the answer was always Fogo de Chao. Cameron and Julien spoke to the senior managers at both restaurants. Here is what they discovered.
When you flew out of the nest, you made a mistake, flew all the way back.
We use all choice cuts here, and the food, all of the beef comes from the United States, except for the lamb, which comes from New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
But everything else is a domestic product.
The meat is of the highest quality. We pay suppliers who ship the meat into the restaurant, and it's never frozen. The beef and pork come from Argentina and Brazil, and the lamb comes from Chile, because apparently they have the best lamb.
Style of service is very different than most restaurants in the United States. It runs as a churrascaria would, which would use team service or gang service. That way, instead of the server having a section in which they're in control of only the tables that they will take care of, everyone is incentivized to take care of all the tables. So it allows the servers really to handle more volume, with also including a lot of details that most servers would miss just because they're only on their own.
Service is airtight. The waiters are there for your every need. This particular location has 96 part-time employees that usually work 1 out of every 2 days. As you can see, there are not many differences between the actual restaurant in both countries. Fogo de Chao is always in the business of creating a high-end fine dining experience for its customers. If the physical restaurant is not what accounts for the fact that there are double the amount of Fogo de Chao locations in the USA than in Brazil, then what has caused this discrepancy? We realize that perhaps the answer lies in changing consumer tastes and a difference in demand for the restaurant in each market. We'll begin by comparing the competitive landscape for Fogo de Chao in each country. In Brazil, market demand proves to be a large mitigating factor that can explain the chain's slow or dwindling expansion. Southern-style churrascarias are commonplace in many Brazilian cities, creating a large competitive landscape for Fogo de Chao. Moreover, though Fogo is arguably Brazil's most famous grill, its growth is hampered by the thousands of competing churrascarias, such as the one pictured here, that sell similar dining experiences at nearly a third of the price. On top of the direct competition with other churrascarias, there is the more macro issue of increasing competition between full-service restaurants. Because of Brazil's growing economy, many multinational corporations have set their sights on opening restaurants in Brazil. Currently, the top 3 full-service chain restaurants in the country are Outback Steakhouse, Pizza Hut, and Applebee's, representing a combined 40.6% of brand shares for full-service chain restaurants. Exotic styles of cuisine are also growing in popularity, featuring an additional threat for the traditionally Brazilian Fogo de Chao. For example, chained Asian restaurants featuring exciting foods such as sushi records the fastest current value sales growth of 41% in 2011. Finally, casual dining full-service restaurants were introduced in the Brazilian market by global operators such as TGIF. This growth is only expected to increase over the next few years as the middle class in Brazil continues to expand. Fogo de Chao's position in the U.S. restaurant landscape is quite different. When they first opened their doors in 1997, it was quite risky for the company. Most Americans had not yet developed a taste for foreign restaurants. However, Fogo de Chao benefited greatly from its first mover's advantage, bringing the unique and novel gaucho experience to a market dominated by prototypical American steakhouses. For Americans, Fogo offers a novel alternative to classic American restaurants, and people have welcomed the brand with open arms. Each restaurant in the US makes around $12 million per year. That's over $200 million in revenue from the United States alone. The most crucial differentiating factor regarding the restaurant's expansion is shifting consumer tastes in both countries. Brazil's rapid modernization has led consumers to invest more in their health as disposable income has risen. In just 5 years, spending on items in the health and wellness category has grown immensely. Consumers are also starting to perceive all-you-can-eat churrascarias as unhealthy and see consumption of red meat as dangerous. The combination of the trend towards purchasing healthy products and the negative perception of churrascarias are not helping the restaurant's image in Brazil. American consumers are equally becoming more health conscious, but this trend is not reflected in consumer preferences. Spending on health products has not grown a lot over the past few years, and obesity rates in the country are skyrocketing, with 80% of Americans currently overweight. This reflects a consumer culture of excess and overindulgence. Americans are well aware of health risks associated with overeating, yet they still can't resist fancy restaurants such as Fogo de Chao. This is an important piece of the puzzle in understanding Fogo's success in the USA. Apart from health trends is the reality that Americans just make more money. Even with Brazil's growing economy, Americans make around $30,000 more US dollars than Brazilians each year and have more purchasing power and disposable income. This is reflected when evaluating how eating habits differ from Brazil to the USA. 36% of food outlets in the USA are full-service restaurants, compared to only 6.5% in Brazil, where people are more likely to go out for street food. Furthermore, full-service restaurants account for double the sales for food outlets in the United States than in Brazil. What then does the future hold for Fogo de Chao? The company definitely saw an opportunity in America and capitalized, but is this type of offering sustainable given growing trends of health and wellness choices? Or is the joy of the Fogo dining experience enough to quell consumer doubts that would otherwise be a risk to the brand? The company may indeed need to reevaluate its practices in order to accommodate shifting brand perceptions. Fogo is revered for its high-quality meat and exceptional service, but it may need to look towards healthier menu options to maintain growth in the future. Perhaps a bigger emphasis on its salad bar and adding more options such as fish or chicken will help change the negative perceptions that churrascarias have acquired over the past few years. They can emphasize these additional offerings through social media, where they already have a solid fan base that continues to grow on Facebook and Twitter. If the restaurant continues to strengthen its existing core values and introduce a healthy element to its menu, then Ari and Yair Kozer will reach their goal of having 50 open churrascarias in no time.